Okay, Rabotai, welcome to a Tuesday night class. Baruch Hashem. The new year has officially started. You know, they asked, I think it was one of the Vishnitzer Rebbe's, if I'm not mistaken. They asked him, Elul, Tishrei, Elul was Selichot, every day going to shul, everyone's hyped up, they're listening to the shofar, Vayavor, Tishrei, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and then goes Sukkot, and then goes Simchat Torah. It's the whole past 2 months was everyone was on some sort of high. Something, you felt something in the air. Suddenly, the holidays end, boom, nothing. This whole month there's no holidays. Next month, also, only towards the end of the month you get a holiday. Like, how do I fill that void? There's a void, no? There's that void that's missing. That's what I felt. I feel like that something is lo shayach. Something's off. So the Rebbe said, the Vishnitzer Rebbe said, I think it was Vishnitzer or Kloisenberg. Oh, I think it was Kloisenberg. Sorry. So he's talking to his followers, his Hasidim, and he said, I know what's going through everyone's brain. I want to tell you guys a story. There was this man, and this man, Rahmanan Litzlan, unfortunately, he had any sickness you can think about, that's what he had. He, on a daily, used to take 80 pills. 80 pills every single day, 30 in the morning, 30 in the afternoon, and 20 before he goes to bed. And each pill used to be for a different part of the body. One pill was for the heart, one was for the ear, and if he didn't take it, his body can't function. Imagine such a thing, Rahman al-Itzlan. And no doctor wanted to deal with this guy. You notice to deal with a guy with all the sicknesses under the book? Forget about it. Who wants such a headache? Okay? The doctor, there was one doctor, but he was a specialist. He said, Ya Habibi, you're my baby. You're my life project. As long as I'm alive, you're going to be alive. You ever need anything, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, anytime you give me a call, I'll answer you. So for years, 10, 15 years, this guy's living in this every day, 80 pills. Can you imagine? I'm just thinking about it. I'm having goosebumps. And one day, the doctor puts on his practice. He lived in Eretz Israel. I'm moving to Arizona for a year. I'm going to learn some advanced medical, and I have to be away for a year. If you want to reach me, here are other doctors that can help you. Now this man goes to the practice and he sees this sign and he says, Ya Habibi, if this doctor goes, I'm dead. He calls the doctor right away. He said, what are you doing? How can you leave me? You're leaving me. I'm going to die. The doctor says, don't worry. Let me tell you what happened. The hospital I work in, I told them that if you want me to do this, they wanted me really to go because I was a very good doctor. I have a request that if I'm going to Arizona, this guy also has to come with me to Arizona. But there's just one problem. I'm scared by the time you're going to get to the plane, you're going to die. From all the lachat, all the pressure, from all the changing of times, medication, you're going to go crazy. So instead, I found a second patent, a second ra'aya for you. What is it? There's a certain drug in Germany. This drug, every drug costs approximately $10,000. Every pill is around 10 grand. This one pill is good as if you're taking all 80 pills. Inside this drug that they the hospital's gonna get me for you, we'll take care of you per day. So my condition was to the hospital that if you want me to go, you have to, unconditionally, without charging this man, get him the medication. If you get him the medication, for as long as that I'm not here, no problem, I'll go. And anytime you don't feel good, just pop another one. So the Kleisenberger Rebbe said, the holidays is like taking those 80 pills. Slichot. There's Rosh Hashanah. Do we dip the apple? Do we not? Do we dip the, the lungs? Everyone has a different custom. I remember I told you guys when I got married, the first thing I saw was a lung on my plate. I was like, what is this? Like, I never saw such a thing. Yeah, you have to take the lung and put it in the honey. I said, this is new minagim. Minagim Moshe Rabbeinu didn't even know. Okay, this thing, that thing, then comes Sukkot. You have to, each thing corresponds something else. The heart, the spine, the eyes, the lips, everything. Everything something totally different. Unbelievable. Suddenly the holidays finish. And how does the holidays finish? Simchat Torah. Hashem says, now you need one pill. You just need to learn Torah. Don't feel for a second that now since we don't have the holidays, my hitlavud, my excitement is going down. La'afet. The whole holidays, all these Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Selichot, Sukkot, everything was made and getting us prepared for what? For receiving the Torah. Unbelievable. So a person has to tell himself, where am I holding in my spirituality? How come I don't feel this urge? I don't feel this desire to learn Torah. Where did it go? Where is it? Why isn't it even existing? Because when we do Torah mitzvot, we're not thinking about it. We're all running to the shuk, to the market to get the most beautiful etrog. Now what? Okay, you have the most beautiful etrog. I know people that sold etrogim, they didn't even have for the chag. Like, you're selling etrogim! How don't you have your own etrog? I forgot. What? It's your business! Why? The etrog he didn't care about the etrog. You know what he cared? Jengi. Kesef, mamun, zahav, pool. That's what he cared about. Did he care about actually doing the mitzvah? Did he take the best etrog for himself? Or did he say, oh, I can make a good buck out of this one. Oh, this one, $600. Gannav bin Gannav. $700. Gannav bin Saba shel Ganav. Why? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sell Hadassim, Rashi, Rabbeinu Tam, all Rashbam, Rashi, all these different commentaries. Wow, $1,000. What the guy now? What is this? That's what I'm gonna do. When it comes to doing the mitzvot, Rabbi, don't worry. I call Shana Manga Rabbi. I gave people so much discount, Rabbi. You don't know. Their mitzvah is like my mitzvah. I don't need to shake it, Rabbi. It's the wrong way of thinking. That's not the way a Yid has to think. A Jew has to think, when's the next? How am I going to achieve more? Okay? That was just an introduction. I want to first say Toda Rabah for all the sponsors. I know we made a sponsorship for an iPad to record the shiurim. I have hundreds of hours of shiurim that I recorded, but I never posted it. But now we're going to start. The iPad didn't come yet. The truth, I'm using my phone. The iPad got lost on the way. They giving us a new one. And hopefully to Mizakeh, to Rabim, I have a lot of Talmidim in Eretz Yisrael and a lot of married people that called me, and a lot of single. They said, please, we're not going to be able to come to the shiur, but record it and put it online. Like this, we can also do it. So all the sponsors, I know everyone that's sponsored. A lot of them, they said they want to do it anonymous. I'm not going to mention their name, but whoever did, Toda Rabah. Remember that every single shiur that gets posted, it's like you have that schar on your head. Imagine, by just giving a couple of dollars, and Olam Haba, they're going to say you were mezaket thousands of hundreds of thousands of people. That hitlavu that guy had, or that chuk of chozer b'tshuva, doing tshuva, is on you. Why? Because you were willing to give 5, 10, 1500, 200, whatever it was, to a device that's going to be mezaket rabim. Unbelievable what schut we have in this generation. Okay. Now, A little update. And besides the Tuesday shiurim, I'm starting a Sunday shiur, not here, in a different Beit Knesset. But we're going to be learning hardcore Chassidut. It's only for men. People always ask, Rabbi, we always get hitlavut, we get inspired. But Lamaisa, how do we do avodah? How do we actually work on ourselves? What's the avodah? What's the job? So hopefully in those shurim, in those classes, I want to break it down according to my Rebbeim's teachings that they taught me through the teachings of Rabbi Yehuda Shlomo, the Yenuka, that he himself said to learn these Sfarim, and so on and so forth. How we will be going through a certain mamarim of certain different Hasidic Rebbes, and also some Sifrei Musar. We're not here to finish a book over there. We do at that Sunday class. It's to teach us how to serve Hashem, how to actually mevatel ourselves to become one with the Kudsha Bricha. I just have to say it because people should know. Again, on Shabbat, I give also shiur Wednesday. I'm sorry, on Shabbat, 7 o'clock in the morning. That's after the mikveh, of course. The chaver go, and we do inyanei of mitzvot. Why do we do mitzvot? And after we finish that, we will be learning different things. And hopefully, when the time changes, Shabbat night, I'm also going to start doing a class, Be'iyun in Halacha and in Gemara. More for guys that I got a phone call, they want to learn Gemara. And hopefully that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. But for now, those are the times I can give to the public. And separately, hopefully private things, because I have this device now. Any time goes, the zechut is on the people that gave. Even $1. Can you imagine what zechut $1 can do? Unbelievable. Okay, Parashat Noach. I was going through the parasha, and I said, which part, at least what I feel, which part of this parasha is not so much looked upon. Everyone knows the story, but no one is really, there's not so much shurim, you can't find so much information about it. And that was the Tower of Babel, Migdal Babel, Dor HaPelaga, the generation that went against the Kodesh Baruch Hu, went against God. Now, I'm going to tell you the story, and then I'm going to explain it. It's mind-boggling that a generation, that their great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, which was Noah, was still alive. He was still alive. He was breathing. Shem was still alive. They were breathing. And they still had the guts to go against HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And how we can compare this to our day-to-day life, and who are these people? Who are they? So the Pasuk says something very interesting. And there was a people, and there was actually all the people spoke one language. Imagine all of the world knows one language. Everybody knew one language. Knowing this one language gave them the power of Achdut. Achdut is unification. There's nothing more Hashem loves more. There's nothing more that Hashem loves than a people, that his sons and daughters having Achdut, Ahavat Chinam, loving everyone unconditionally. That's the greatest thing in the world. The greatest. So, these people, they moved to a land. It was called Babel. It was in the map around Assyria and Iraq area. And they decided to build a tower. A tower that reaches what? From the earth to the clouds, to higher than the clouds. And I'm going to explain to you why. Unbelievable. Where they wanted to build this tower. And they were successful. They reached very high points. Now the Chumash says something very interesting. Vayomer ish, vayomru ish el re'eu. The man was speaking, a friend was speaking to another friend. Have nilvana levenim v'nisrefa yisrefa. We came to a land that has no rocks. How are we supposed to make this tower? Let's create bricks. That was the generation that they were the first people to take raw matter and start creating it into a different identity. Before then, people only used whatever was around. There was stones, there was flint, there was wood. They used whatever there was, and they learned to live with it. But to actually create something from raw matter, no one did until this point. It was a big chidush. It was huge. So they told to each other, let's do this. Let's build this nice, beautiful tower, and we're going to reach Shemaima. We're going to reach to the heaven. Okay, they build a nice tower. Everyone's excited. They're all helping each other. The Gemara says in Masechet Sanhedrin, Daf Kuftet Aleph. Why did they want to build such a high tower? They wanted to go. They didn't know how the rain works. They thought there was a big, huge pool in heaven. You're gonna go up. You're gonna make a hole in the pool, and all the water is gonna come down. They were scared there's gonna be another flood. That's what they were scared of. Not knowing. They did know that Hashem made a covenant. He swore to who? Hashem swore to who? He swore to Noah. What did he swear? I'm never ever gonna bring another flood. I'm never gonna bring another flood. He swore. And they didn't care. They said, we're gonna build a nice tower. And they built, and they had in mind either three things. They would go and they would poke the cloud and all the rain would come down. And like that there would be a flood and they would be on top. And they would survive there. They would live. And how would they live? They would live in the sense, we don't need God. We can serve ourselves now. I don't need God. Why do I need God? I don't need God. Why do I need God? I'm up there. He can't hurt me. He can only hurt me through the water. Because they were so traumatized with the flood that had happened. I was saying this to one of my rebbeim, and he said, this reminds me of this generation, all this confusion and this new identity nonsense. Someone they asked one of the Gedolei Hador, they said, Eretz Yisrael, unfortunately, even though it's not our Medina, it's our land, it's our country, but it's not our government, it's not a Jewish government, is going into elections another time. What is it, their third time, their fourth time? They cannot pick. This is what happens. You have two Jews sitting on the table together, you have three opinions. The Jews are already getting to the point that they're done with liberalism. They're sick of it. They're sick. They're disgusted with the fact that people are going to tell you how to raise your kids. To tell you that your son has an ability, he's 5 years old, and he can decide if he wants to be a woman today. Or if he wants to be a dragon. Or a donkey. Or your daughter decides today she's going to be a pumpkin. What the heck is going on over here? Are you okay? Are you feeling okay? The Jews are already sick of it. Even the modern Jews in Eretz HaKodesh, they're listening, they're like, what's this nonsense? Because they grew with values. They grew up with normal being a human being. This left identity it's fading away. The last of the crops of Erev Rav is getting wiped out. They're getting washed away. They're not talking about anymore giving land to the goyim over there. It's not even a thought. No one wants it anymore. Everyone knows of all the disgustingness. This is the beginning of the end of the beginning of the Geula. We're already in the Geula, guys. We're already in the end of the process, but of the beginning of the new identity. I'm telling you, you don't know even what's going on. And the same thing happened in Dor Mabul. Dor Haflaga of the Migdal Bavel, they were scientists. They understood new things. We can create things. Before then, they thought creation was only for who? For God. Only God can create things. Suddenly, now they're coming to an understanding, we can also create. We can make bricks. We can make buildings. Wow! We're not that crazy after all. We have to build. We're going to build stuff. And listen what HaKadosh Baruch Hu says. Listen to what HaKadosh Baruch Hu says. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says that he went down, of course, Kiviyachol, Hashem is everywhere, but the Torah writes in a way for us to understand. Hashem went down and he saw. This is one of the only times in this parasha that it says Yud Kei Vav Kei, B'midat HaRachamim. He went down and he said something very, 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 very interesting. Pasuk Hey, Vayered Adonai lirot et ha'ir. And Hashem went down to see the town. Ve'et hamigdal, and the building. Asher banu b'nei Adam, which the b'nei Adam, which is the human beings built. Let me ask you a question. Rashi says on the spot, beautiful Rashi, b'nei Adam, human beings. Why did the Torah need to say human beings? Who else was going to build it? Here, Rashi. Elu b'nei Mishe Shema. B'nei Hamorim, what were they? Donkeys started to build? He said it. Rashi said it. He said, b'nei Chamorim. What were they? Donkeys? Donkeys started to build the Migdal Bavel. Ugamalim, the sons of camels. Elu b'nei Adam Arishon. Why did it say that? I'll tell you why. 15 generations before, there was a man, and his name was who? Adam Arishon, the first man that ever was created. I know we didn't have a shiur about Parshat Bereshit, but this is Baruch Hashem. I can connect both. You get both in one shot. Adam Arishon. Let's analyze the story for a second, guys. He wasn't an idiot. I want you to know that he was created by God. He was created by God, mamash. I just want you to understand who we're talking about. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol niyah b'dvaro. He was created by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What happens? HaKadosh Baruch Hu, after Adam Arishon ate from the Etz Hadat, Tovera, he ate from the tree of knowledge, which was not really what we think, but for simplicity, he ate from the tree that makes you understand between good and bad. Only HaKadosh Baruch Hu knew between good and bad. Mankind were not created to know between good and bad. He ate from the tree, and God says to him, what did you do? What did you do? What was his answer? The woman you created for me, you created her for me, she gave it to me. Back to first grade, Rabbi side. Ever saw kids? He did it, mommy. No, but he did it, mommy. Of course, talking about Adam Rishon, we have to have respect. What did God do? God created the whole world. He created all the animals, and he saw everyone had a partner. And he saw Adam Rishon was by himself. Lo tov liot adam levado. A man has to get married. He has to have a wife. He saw he's by himself. So what did he do? As for a favor for Adam Rishon, a favor for him, he created the most helpful thing for him, a woman. He said, I'm going to create an Ezer Kenegdah. I'm going to create someone that's going to help you, achieve your goals in your life. And he created a woman. And instead of Adam Rishon saying thank you and manning up to his faults, what does he say? You created her. You thought she's going to help me. Look what she did. It's your fault. Kfui tova. You are kfui tova. You are unappreciative. How can you be so unappreciative? Huh? Adam Arishon, Hashem made you a favor. He created a woman for you. For you. And instead of saying thank you, you have the audacity to say, because you created her, that's why I am who I am. I did the mistake. And that was the door. They saw God. They saw Him. They saw the good. They were the beginning of the world. The world just got renewed. And instead of appreciating, and instead of having a harmony and wanting to grow in spirituality, they decided to have a war against God. You fools, you're going to have a war against me. I'm the creator of the world. He made their tongue change. He made them not be able to understand one another. And that's the key in Shalom Bayit, even though a lot of you are not married. When a husband and wife have their tongue, they know how to communicate properly. They have a normal communication. Nothing can break that unity. Nothing! But when the tongue is like Dora Pelaga, everything is always cursing, and they blaming each other's families. Back to Jet Kisad, back to first grade. They don't understand. It's not about that. It's about me and you. We gotta grow life together. It's not about everyone else. Everyone else is here to help us. We're here. We have to grow. They're doing the same mistake every single time. That's the problem. They have to grow out of this mentality, this Ruski, this Uzbekski, this European, this Goyish way of thinking, of blaming. It's disgusting. You cannot grow a family like that. You only get into destruction when you don't have normal communication. When you don't have a way of understanding one another. You need to have a way of understanding one another. That's the only way you'll have peace in your house. And even if you're upset about something, no one asks you to scream like there's the 4th of July. It's not, no fireworks at the house. Why can't you have a normal conversation? Why does everything have to be a competition? You don't need a competition in your life. You need a helper. You need someone you can hold hands together and mentally and go up and up and up. Remember, she was only created to help you because we needed that help. In a way, they're greater than us. We needed that help. But when a man is going to have his ego and not understand this fact that together we grow, or then there's no growth. There's only destruction. It's only ego. What about me? What about me? Who are you? What are you? You're nothing. You're nothing. The Pirkei Avot says you're a piece of stinking little seed. What are you? You're nothing. Put the ego down a little bit. Put the ego down. Work on your ego. I'll tell you a beautiful story about it. Listen what an Oved Hashem has to be. A person that serves Hashem. Listen to this story. I heard this story. I got goosebumps in every part of my body. Baruch Hashem. There was a story of a man. He was a mashgiach in Poland. Mashgiach. He had a big mifal, he had a factory. And he used to live in Eretz Yisrael. He used to go sometimes to the mifal, to the factory, because they didn't need to be working 24/7. They used to make in bulk, sell it over time, and call it a day. One day, this guy, elderly man, sitting down in his work, and he looks like he's sleeping. And one of the workers there, a lady, looks at him and says, "What's going on? Mashum muzar, something strange." She takes a pen, she throws it at him. No answer. She says, maybe he's ignoring me. She takes another pen. She uses this one, the bigger one now. She throws it. No answer. She walks up to him. Shlomo! Right away, 911 in Poland. I don't know what the number is there. Ambulance comes. They see he's not breathing. Right away, CPR. Gets his pulse back. They take him to the hospital. The ambulance there asked this lady, "You are in the middle of working. What's to you and to this guy?" Listen to what the worker said. She said, "You see this guy? This guy would never stay with me in a room alone. He would never ever let me sing out loud. I'm over here by myself. I'm working, I'm singing, and he's quiet. I knew something's wrong with him. I knew he's not 100% today. Why? Because he's allowing me, anytime I would sing, he would tell me, please, be quiet, Our religion doesn't allow it. I'm not allowed to listen to a woman singing. If I would be alone in the room, he would make sure to find someone to come into the room. This guy you saw, he had Yirat Shamayim. He was a guy that was seeking HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the second I knew he was alone with me in the room, I knew something's wrong with this guy. Something's wrong. And his keeping the Torah saved his life. Rabbi, I work with a lot of, I have to be professional, Rabbi. I work in the work world. I work on 47th Street. I work in the hospitals. I'm a lawyer. I have to shake everyone's hand. Muchachoch. Have nice tea with them. Go out to dinner with them. We have to socialize. Where does it say that anywhere? Where? What's going on? Rav Mordechai Eliyahu, when he went to visit the queen when she was alive, he was the only one that didn't give his hand. They were practicing for a week how to shake the queen's hand. Rav Mordechai Eliyahu said, Ya Habibi, I don't care who the heck she is. I'm not shaking no woman's hand. I'm not shaking. I'm coming and I'm doing like this. After, when all the prime minister said hi to the queen, all the nice people in the parliament, when he came to the rabbi and he did like this, she went over to him after and said, out of all the people here, you had the biggest respect. Even a Goya, because she comes from a monarchy family, she comes from royalty, understands that respect has nothing to do with a handshake. And you come with your excuse, I have to do this and do that, you're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. You're not saying the truth. Who are you lying to? Then you say, I have tzarot, I have this. How much are you seeking HaKadosh Baruch Hu in your life? How much? How much are you going out of your way to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Am I working to live or am I living to work? Which one? Where do I stop? Nu efo ani agid chalas, ad po. That's what you have to ask yourself. My boy said, wake up already. You're going to grow kids soon. The kids are going to look at you and say, Dak, my papa, afiris. Outside, rabbi. Inside, oh, what he does. Fighting all the time with my mom. Balagan at the house. You think kids don't catch this? They're the best detectives in the world. Right away, afiris, right away, kid says, shtiyot. If the kid doesn't see Yirat Shamayim coming out of your ears, he's not gonna get it. He's not. He's not gonna get it. Who are you fooling? We were talking about Hakarat HaTov. Came to me another story. There was a story with Rav Moshe Feinstein before he passed away. Rav Moshe Feinstein was the Gadol Ador of America. He was the first and the last. Rosh Kibahag of America. He is the Poisek of America. Rav Moshe Feinstein, when he was sitting in the hospital on his deathbed, when he was very sick actually, not on his deathbed, when he was very sick and they thought he was going to die, and the doctors called his family and said, Ya Habibi, come, say your goodbyes, he's done. He's not going to live. Everyone came. They were crying. And no one knew about it. They kept everything on the down low. No one needs to know. You don't need to now make a whole Megillah out of it. Keep it to yourselves, quiet. Out of nowhere, he says, I'm hot. Take off this. And he's taking off all the wires. He said, I can't. I'm hot. And I need to sit up. Give me something to drink. Shahakol. Okay? They gave it to him. Zaidi, are you okay? Everything's okay. Yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Suddenly, one of his grandsons get a phone call. Picks up the phone. He said, hi, how are you? Everything, so on, so talking. He said, how's your grandfather doing? Grandfather's fine. What? He said, I had a dream about him. You sure he's okay? Yeah. What was the dream? The dream is that I saw that they're judging him in Shamayim, and they said that they're giving him more life. Why? Because of the mikvah I just wanted to let you know. I just want to know how your grandfather's doing. Okay. He hangs up the phone. Who do you always run to? You run either to the mommy or you run to the grandmother. Right away he runs to Rav Moshe Feinstein's wife, his grandmother. He said, I had a weird phone call. A friend called me and they said that Zaidi has more olam haba because of the mikvah. And right away, Rav Moshe Feinstein's wife did like this and started to tear. He said, what's going on? He said, let me tell you a story. He said, when we were in Russia, communist Russia, the Russians hated Torah mitzvot. They hated it. God, Yadut, no. They hated it. After they took away all of the Torah, they didn't allow us to learn, they decided to close all the mikvot in Russia. They closed all of it. And your grandfather was very, very, very pained because of this. Why? How are the people going to live with their wives? Without the mikveh, they cannot procreate normally. You're uprooting one of the biggest foundations in Torah. Mikveh? How? You can't do that. You're uprooting if not the foundation of Judaism. And your grandfather one day, he closes the shades of the house and he's walking, pacing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. He's nervous. And I'm saying, Moshe, Rav Moshe, not Moshe Chas Shalom, but his wife said, Rav Moshe, what happened? Why do you look so pale? Suddenly, knock on the door. Who comes? Big Ruski. Walks in, he closes the door, he takes a cup, pours him a cup of vodka, and he said, drink. The Russian takes it down. He sits and he's talking to him 5, 10, 20, 1 hour. They're talking. The Russian guy gets up and leaves. Now, a woman, Baruch Hashem, they're very curious people. She said, what happened? Ma kore? He said, they're building a public swimming pool. And I'm trying to find a way that they should also make it into a mikveh. That if any woman goes inside that swimming pool, it's like she went into the mikveh. But I have to do it in a way that if the Russian government finds out, I'm done. They don't ask questions. Bullet to the head on the spot in the swimming pool. No questions. Well, there's just one problem. I need to be there by the construction site. See, I just finished building a mikveh in my house. It's not a simple process. It's a major amount of halachot. He said, I have to be there. I have to make it in a way that it doesn't look Jewish at all. He said, but I don't know what to do. I have to be there, go there at least 3-4 times. And if they see a guy with a beard there, they're not going to ask questions. And I don't know who can I trust. These Russians, kofri mikar. They're going to shoot me. They're going to rat me out. He said, but I'm going to do it. Why? Because Klal Yisrael needs it. That's a Gadol Hador. A Gadol Hador is the one that's going to get up and go out to the people. And that's exactly what he did. Closed his book. He said, there's a time for learning and there's a time for action. Closed his book. His wife said that every time he would leave the house, he would do vidui like Yom Kippur. He would pray half of Yom Kippur's prayer. He would pray. Why? He's not sure if he's coming home. He would kiss his kids. He would say, I don't know what's going to be if I'm going to come home. He used to go at night. He did this 4 times until they built the mikveh. That was Rav Moshe Feinstein. And because of that, Hashem said in Shamayim, Hakrat Tov, appreciation. You went out for my kids, I'm going to give you more life. We don't know when Hashem is going to repay us back. We assume we do a mitzvah. Where's the greens? Rabbi, I don't see no greens. I'm not putting on tefillin anymore. I'm not keeping Shabbat. No more tat mishpacha. I want to see results now, Rabbi. Right now. If I don't have the results, I don't believe. Wait a second. Are you God? Do you know when you're going to need it the most? Maybe you're going to need it later in your life. Maybe your kids are going to need it more than you. Maybe. And with this, I have another story to tell. Today I'm on a roll with these stories. And this is the final story. We're just talking about Hakarat HaTov, Moshe Rabbeinu, which was Noah, which was Hevel in Gilgul, if we're talking about Moshe Rabbeinu, he didn't do the first 3 makot, Dam, Tzvadeh, and Kinim. He didn't do. Why? He said, I have Hakarat HaTov, I have appreciation to the water and to the earth. They saved my life. The water carried me as a kid in a basket, and the earth helped me cover that Egyptian when I killed him. I'm going to go in and hit it! I have appreciation to it! How can I go and hit it? How? And Chas Shalom, people can go, have no problem. I do a favor for someone, right away, where's my return? Where's your kavod? Where's your anava? Where's your gimlut chasadim? Where's your kindness to people? The biggest kindness is the people in our own house. And how do we know this? There was 2 nations, Ammon and Moab. They're not allowed to come to Judaism. Those are the 2 nations, their men cannot convert to Judaism. Ever, ever. Egyptians can convert. Germans can convert. Uzbeks can convert. Yimach Shemamba. They can all convert. But if you come from the bloodline of Ammon and Moab, you can't convert. Why? Avram Avinu went to save who? His nephew, which was Lot. He went to save him. He went out of his way for him. And when the Jews were leaving Mitzrayim to go into Eretz Israel, when they said, can we have food? The Jews went to the 2 countries. Ammon said, can we have food? He said, sure! So they opened up. Your mouth would have dropped. But everything was salty. And the Jews were hungry and they ate. And when the Jews said, can I get some mayim? Kakoi mayim. Next country you go, you ask for water. Here we just give salty food. And Jews died because of that. The salt made them dehydrated. Hashem said, those people, achzarim, en lehem hakarat hatov. They don't have appreciation. They're wicked. They're evil. They can never come to become Jewish people. They can never be part of the people that are chosen. Why? Because we don't have this in our midah. We come from Avraham, Isaac, Yaakov. We have mercy. Gumlei chesed. That's what we have. That's what we have. We're baishanim. We're people with modesty. We're shy. We're not beru. We're not bisprizorni. We're not like animals. No. Even if you find one of those kind of Jews, when it comes to action, suddenly he thinks twice, like, should I do it? Should I not? Should I do it? You see he's a Jew. You see he's so baishan in front of his friends. Yeah. Oh. Suddenly when it gets to do something, I don't know, man. Help me. How do I do it? Like, and then suddenly, since he talked so much smack before, he has to hit himself in the tuchas and say, I'm still gonna do it. That's a Jew. But you get these other people, no hakarat hatov. Now listen to this story. You ready? It's getting hot, everybody's saying. What's going on over here? I feel something. I'm not sure what, but I feel something. This story is around maybe 50 years ago. I heard it today. I promise you I was crying. I heard the story, I was crying. I wasn't just crying, I was shocked. Such an unbelievable how Hashem works is, and we question God. There was this man, a Rav actually, Talmid Chacham, his name was Bar Shalom, sorry. Rabbi Yosef Bar Shalom. He was the neighbor of Rav Ovadia. But he was an Ani Marut. He was very poor. He was a Talmid Chacham. But he was a poor man. In his 6th child, when he had his 6th child, was a boy, he He went downstairs to the makola, to the bazaar, and he asked for a tomato box. He took the tomato box, he put some leaves, and he said, at least the baby's gonna have a little bed to sleep on. That's how poor he was. I want you to imagine what we're talking about. He needed to go to the grocery store to get a box and to put some leaves there for his son, newborn baby, to sleep. For you to fathom, where are we holding in the world? So this Bar Shalom, the wife, was walking out right after she gave birth. I think it was the fifth, sixth day after she was walking out of her house. And who did she see? Rabbanit Margalit, Rav Ovadia Yosef's wife. Rav Yosef's wife sees her. Mazal tov, what did you have? I'm having a boy. Mazal tov. Where's the brit? Oh, brit, we very modest people. We're gonna go to the Mohel's house. The Mohel's gonna take the baby. He's gonna do the brit in the house, and that's it. I met people. I did brit for people like that. Unfortunately, they didn't have money. They were so embarrassed. They came to my house. I went to their house and I did it for them. Okay. Rabbanit Margalit goes back in her house and goes to Rav Ovadia and says, "They're poor. What should we do?" Rav Ovadia looks at his wife and says, "Tell them we're doing the brit. We're going to make a party for them." So, she says, most probably they don't even have money for a brit yitzchak. A brit yitzchak is a small little gathering right before the brit, the night before, to bless the baby. Okay? We'll do that too. Rabbanit Margalit right away goes down to the shuk, to the market, to the bazaar. She goes to the grocery store, the community grocery store, and says, Mishpachat, the family of Bar Shalom, is having, we want to do a Brit Yitzchak for them. And right away, the owner of the store said, I don't want to hear it with this family. I'm not letting them do shopping here. They already owe me so much money. They owe me, let's say, for example, $5,000. They owe me so much money. No more credit. No more store credit for them. And the Rebbe says, Margaret says, I'm buying it for them. He said, I don't want to hear it. He goes upstairs. She goes upstairs to her husband, to Rav Ovadia, and says, listen, Rav Ovadia, Rabbeinu, they don't let me do the shopping. Rav Ovadia gets up. I'm learning Torah. Gets up, goes downstairs. Oh, good Rav. He was still young, but everyone knew he was a genius. Gadol Ador, he stood up for him. Hi, Shalom Aleichem, so on and so forth. Rav Ovadia was talking to him, he asked him, let me ask you a question. What's the most important thing for you in life? Now, even as a traditional Jew, everyone knows the most important thing is the Torah. That's what it is. He said, the Torah, of course. Rav Ovadia looks at this guy and he says, Ani maftiach lecha, I promise to you, that if you forgive the loan of Mishpacha Bar Shalom, you will have a son that's going to be a very big Talmid Chacham. Are you willing to let go of their loan? And I'm going to give you a bracha. And if this doesn't happen after you pass away, you go to Shamayim and you do din on me. You can go in front of Kisei HaKavod and say, Rav Ovadia promised me something and it didn't come true. And the store Makola, the owner of the Makola, said, Machul, I forgive it. A guarantee, a son Talmid Chacham, no problem. Done. Okay. Rav Ovadia goes back up, tells his wife, go do the shopping. No one knows of the story besides who? Rav Ovadia and the store owner. No one told anything. Everyone was tzanua, modest. Beautiful, right? Interesting. Many years later, 30 years later, Bar Shalom, Rabbanit Bar Shalom, had a dream. Who did she dream of? the store owner. Imagine not thinking about someone for 30 years. You already moved out of that shchuna. You don't even live there anymore. And who comes to you? The guy that you owe money that you forgot. You owe him money. Right away, she wakes up. She calls her son. Her husband already passed away. She calls her son, Rabbi Eliyahu Bar Shalom. He's actually the head in Bat Yam. He's Rav Rashi of Bat Yam. Her son. He's Rav Rashi, the Talmidei Chachamim. And she says, Rabbi Eliyahu, we used to live in a certain place. There was a guy, an old man. He had a makolet, he had a store. Can you go find out? I owed him money. Can you go and pay him back? As a good son. He said, no problem, Ima. He went to the street and he sees the store is not there. There is no bazaar even. Everything is already new, mall, shmall. He calls his mother, he says, I can't find him. And she said, I know where he lived. He lived so and so. See if he lives there. Go see if he lives there. He goes, he knocks on the door. Who opens the door? An Avrech. And this Rabbi Eliyahu Bar Shalom sees him. He knows this Avrech. He says, oh, what are you doing here? You are a huge Talmid Chacham. What are you doing here? He said, I live here. What do you mean? He said, but over here in this area? He said, yeah. My father is sick and I'm taking care of my father. He goes and he sees this old man lying down in a bed and he says, what zechut you had to have such a tzaddik? He already forgot about why he got there. He saw already this avrech here. He said, what zechut you had to have such a son? He said, I'm going to tell you a story I never told anyone. And he's telling him no story. He said, I had a neighbor. His name was Rabbi Yosef Bar Shalom. And he owed me money. And Rav Ovadia promised me if I would forgive the loan, Machul, I'm giving you a Talmid Chacham. And Rabbi Eliyahu Bar Shalom hears this story, his mouth drops. It's about his father. This story is about his own father. He said, I came to repay that loan. This old man in the bed said, loan? He said, you see this son? He is my payment. I don't need no money. This is the greatest nachat ruach I have in my life. Is that I have a son that's shokel Torah, that learns Torah. His amount of kivud avayim is endless. His amount of ahavat Torah, ahavat beriyot, his chinuch of his kids is endless. And you want to pay me the money? I'm not taking it. And if you coming here and you don't believe me, machul lecha, machul lecha, machul lecha. I forgive your father's loan, belev shalem, because the payment was already paid. The debt was already paid by this son that I have. What Torah is, it changes everything in your life. Everything. This Rabbi Eliyahu had a gemach. He used to support Talmidei Chachamim. After he heard this story, he said, this avrech, this guy, I'm paying for his rent for the rest of his life. Because he's learning Torah. What did Hashem do? Hakarat hatov. Appreciation. You helped him. You don't know who one day is going to help your kids. Who's going to help your grandkids. Who's going to help his grandkids. Why? Because you did a drop of chesed. Rabotai, we're in this new year. I'm going to finish with this. We're in this new year. Take advantage. Learn Torah. Guys, girls, you're chayav to learn Torah. You cannot stay Amei Aratzot forever. You have to graduate from Kita Aleph to Kita Bet. You cannot stay in Kita Aleph forever. You can't be in first grade forever. The same way how making money for you is important, learning Torah should be double. Because if you want to have kids, and if you want to live a life of Olam Haba, You want to live like you're in Gan Eden? The only way you'll live that way is if you follow the Torah. But not when it's convenient for you, my love. Hashem doesn't, He's not doing, you're not following the Torah because of conveniency. Don't be a reform or conservative. Don't be a pick and choose Jew. Don't do it. Don't do it. You want your wife to be pick and choose? No. You want your kids to be pick and choose? No. You want your husbands to be pick and choose? No. You want a solid guy, right? You want a solid girl. You want solid kids, right? You put them into any atmosphere, they'll be solid, they'll be straight. How does that happen? When you devote yourself to learning Torah every day. There's no reason why every man cannot learn at least 3-4 hours a day Torah. There's no excuse. Look at your screen times on your phone. Why? Yeah, you're all night like this. What the hell are you doing? Man, don't say it! What are you doing with your life? You're wasting your life by watching someone else live. And that's confusing you. You're saying, how come I don't have his life? It's Abba. How dumb you have to be. B'nei Chamorim, how Rashi says. Are you a Ben Chamor? You're not. You're a Yehudi. Have pride. Walk up with pride. You're a Ben Yehudi. You're Ben Hashem. What are you doing until 2 o'clock in the morning like this? Did you say Kriyat Shema L'mitah? Did you pray Arvit? No. Why? Because I'm too busy worrying about how that guy's posting on Instagram and on TikTok and Facebook. And this is not only going for college students, 40-year-olds, 50. I know guys that are 60, 70 that know how to use social media better than me. I say, when do you have time for this? What do you mean, Pachimu? The guy doesn't know how to read Hebrew. You have time to go on the social media to learn Hebrew, to go learn. Oh, Rabbi. What do you mean, Rabbi? It has nothing to do with being a rabbi. Rabbi, this is my birthright. It's my birthright. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave this to me. It's my birthright. It's my right. Imagine I'm telling you today, from now on, your last name is not whatever it is. I'm changing it. Smith. From now on, your last name is Smith. And you know what? Not only is your last name going to be Smith, I'm changing your kid's last name to, I don't know, Frankinson. Their last name is Frankinson and yours is Smith. What are you going to do to me? You're going to shoot me in the head. What do you mean, changing my last name? These are my kids. They have to have my last name, no? Mine. They're my continuation. You're a Jew, right? What's your continuation? What do you have? If not for the Torah, what do you have? Nothing. Zero. Rav Avigdor Miller said we would be like Arabs in the desert right now if it wasn't for this. We would be Muslim, not Muslim. We would be Arabs. We would be Bedouins riding on camels like this and crying. Oh, my thighs hurt. Oh, like this. We would be in the desert smoking the nargila, playing cards, sheshbesh all day. That's what we would be doing. The only thing that changes and made us different than every other nation, that every other nation is going crazy about, and they can try to bring in their religions and and they cannot survive without our religion because our religion is the proof of their religion, right? And I'm telling you, take it. Let's learn. I don't have time for this, Rabbi. Well, you don't have time to be a normal human being? You don't have time to be someone better, to grow in Torah and Mitzvah? You don't have time for that? You're fooling only yourself. So think about what I'm saying. Take it home. Don't just leave it here. Take it home and say, how am I going to make a difference this year? Tavshin Ayin, Tavshin Pei Gimel. Sorry, I'm in Ayin. Tavshin Pei Gimel. How are we changing this year? Am I going to be the same as last year? Because definitely most of us are the same as the year before. How am I changing it? How am I growing? Have a good night, everybody.
Sad world.